Hi everyone, I'm Riddhi, the Chief of Operations at the Teen Pop magazine.
And I'm Sarim Hamid, the chief editor.
And today we are taking you across our usual editing process. This video is going to be a guide for the writers to know how the editing process is usually like, and also as act as a guide for any future editors that will be, recruiting to work with us, and just give a rundown of how the system works. So this right now, what you see is the Teen Pop dashboard. It's my dashboard. It might look a bit different to the writers and an editor's dashboard because of me having a different role and access in the magazine. So it might look a bit different, but the basic agendas and strategies and looks will be approximately similar. So this is your pop press. It's an entire interface made by our CEO, Ayush Anand, and this is unique to the Teen Pop magazine. And we will now be, if you scroll down the left-hand panel, you would see a place where it says post. All these controls, they might be available for you, they might not be available for you, but like I said, this is there for me and Sarim because of our designation at the Teen Pop magazine. So if you click on posts, if you're an author, you usually add a new article by clicking add new. But if you are an editor, what you are concerned with is this panel of, basically showing the stages of different articles. I'll now let Sarim explain the different categories present here and what each of them mean, except
Um,
filler content because we don't have any filler content.
okay, so for new articles that come in from authors that just send in a new submission, they're usually in pending. So as you can see right now, we have two pending articles, so those need to be edited. Drafts are just like authors are writing something, but they aren't like fully sure they want to submit yet, so it's still in the writing process. So usually those stay in drafts. Scheduled are for articles that we have edited, sent feedback on, and we have scheduled for upcoming dates. Published articles are articles that have already been published, have their SEO done and everything else. And the mine section is basically all the articles you have written or you are an author of. The all section, as
Yeah,
it
it's. I think
says,
it's
is
unique to
everything else.
everybody. It depends on how much you've written, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So as an editor, we'll now be looking at the pending section. So here we are. I've created a specific article just for this, just journey. This is an article written by me, but I've put it under Sarim's name just for the time being, so I can just show you how the editing process is like. So if you're an editor, we usually come here and we click edit. So we wait for the article to load up. And when the article is done loading up, the first stage in editing any article as an editor is to know what you're editing. One of the first primary things I would suggest anyone to do is obviously read through the article, correct the spelling, punctuation, structural, and formatting errors that might exist throughout the article. If paragraphs, like, okay, for example, these two paragraphs are quite short, you can easily combine them. If you think they're appropriate to be combined and not just the style in which the article is presented, then please feel free to do so as an editor. Or if you think a paragraph is too long, you can obviously, separate it. So those are basic formatting, errors. Then you might see some grammatical errors or spelling errors that need to be corrected. And obviously, throughout the journey of editing the article, that is the main purpose. My main suggestion while doing this is also noting down pros and cons of the article, which as an editor is used to send feedback to writers. Um, so as an editor, you should always, while you're reading, keep a track of the pros and cons, so you can later on plot it down into a feedback message that you would be sending to the chief editor for revision. And the main another main part in editing the article and after while you're reading through it is knowing your keyword. Now, as the name explains, keyword is the main word in the entire article, what the entire article stands on. Like it's the pillar word. So, what in this article is the pillar word? To me, given the fact that I have written this article and I know what it's about, I know that the pillar of the article is the word Kolkata, which is the name of a city, the city I was born in, and it's my home city. And it revolves around the city, its beauties, its memories, things unique about it. So for me, the keyword and the pillar word for this article is Kolkata. So now, once you have basically edited the article and you have, you have an idea of your pros and cons, and you have decided on your keyword, then I would suggest you to come to this part. This part, if you hover around it, it shows rank math. Rank math is a certain widget deployed with the pop press, which helps in search engine optimization. I'll let Sarim explain what SEO or search engine optimization is.
Oh, okay. So SEO basically, the rating for the SEO determines how high it will show up in someone's search results. So if someone searches for the city of joy, with the current SEO rating right now, it's probably not going to show up in the top results. The higher the SEO rating, the more
The
likely it is,
position when you
yeah, the
search.
more likely it is to show up in the first page of some search results. So we try to keep all our SEOs to 100 for all articles, so that most of the authors get the chance to get a lot of traffic on their article.
And appear on the first page of major search engines. So
Yeah.
if you come around here and you click on rank math, here is an entire panel dedicated to help you garner more traffic and, like Simon said, be a part of the first few search results. So the first thing after you've decided your main word is to scroll down the panel, and as you can see, the first thing to do is the focus keyword. The focus keyword or the pillar keyword is your main keyword. So like I said, for me the focus keyword is Kolkata. So I'm just going to go here and write Kolkata and press enter. As you can see, the score boosted from 11 to 25, meaning I have now a much better chance at being part of the first few search results. Now, as you can go through, as a level one editor, so basically our entire editing process is in three parts. First part is where the level one editor edits the article for grammatical, structural, and basic errors, does a little formatting and a bit of the SEO. Then the chief editor, Sarim, continues the article, edits it furthermore, and finishes up the SEO. Then I come in and I give it one more reading, and I do the graphics and ensure that the formatting and structuring of the article is appropriate and per our usual layouts and formats of conveying articles. So those are three stages. Now, usually, if we recruit any editor, the editor would be a level one editor, and so for level one editors, all you need to associate yourself with in the SEO panel is the basic SEO part and the title readability part. Um, as a basic editor, you wouldn't require to do much regarding the number of content words. It's basically about the rest in title readability and in basic SEO, except the number of content words. I would let Sarim explain how to go about the focus keyword appearing, SEO meta description, the content, basically the first 5 points, except the URL, which I'll explain later. So Sarim will be taking you across the main 5 points, except the URL in the basic SEO section, and just explaining what the title readability is about, and then I'll further explain how to getting a full score in the title readability section.
So for basic SEO, the first point is focus keyword does not appear in the SEO title. So basically what it's saying is that the keyword you chose doesn't show up in the main title. So usually what you do is, if you can't change the keyword, you're just gonna have to edit the title a bit. So for this one, you could just say Kolkata, yeah, colon, the city of joy, and then it boosts up to 64, as you can see. So The second thing, which now has changed, but usually won't be ticked, is the keyword in SEO meta description. So if you can scroll up, could you scroll up, please?
Yeah, can you see it?
There's a connection still there.
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah. So if you look at the meta description, right, it's the first paragraph of the article, which usually should not be the case because we want to make sure that the people who look at the result know what the article is about. So what we do is after you finish reading the article, you want to edit the snippet and then write up your own description of what the article is about, right? So it shouldn't pass 160 characters. Yeah, and after that, okay.
Sorry about that. I couldn't think of what else to write.
So once you're done, okay.
Yeah, okay, I'm done.
Once you're done writing your description, just what you have to do after that is copy it, leave this, and then just under the title, you're gonna type slash quotes, or as she's showing here is
Yeah, he does it in a different way, but as a beginner, I would always suggest them to do this, in
yeah.
my opinion.
So add a block.
So once you, let me just show that again. Once you come to the heading, you can press enter and automatically this plus sign shows up. So you can add a block and select a quote. Then you enter whatever you wrote here, and then italicize, select the entire thing and italicize it.
Yeah, okay, so that's done. So the next one would be focus keyword not find URL. She'll
I'll
explain
take
this
that
later.
upon later. Yeah.
Focus keyword appears in the first 10% of the content. So usually you would want your focus keyword to show up in the first paragraph or the first sentence. So that's a bit explanatory on its own. Keyword found in the content, that will automatically tick off.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're selecting any keyword, I mean, it should be from the article, so it will be found in the content. So
fair enough. So I think that's it for basic SEO. And for title readability, usually when they ask you to add a power word, it's something that
I think, can I take this part once?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because we often have an issue with this because even if the word is in the title, sometimes if it's a long title, then often people put the keyword at the end, and that prevents this from being ticked. So you would have, as an editor, you would have to manipulate your article's title in order to frame it in a way that it's towards the first few words, if not the first word, so as to ensure that this point is ticked. It should be in the first few words in order to come up like this in the search result on a search engine. So that's how I'll go about it. Then and let Sarim explain positive, negative, and then I'll explain the power word.
Positive, negative is as obvious as it is, but what it basically means that your title should have some kind of emotion towards it, like some kind of. So when you read The City of Joy, it has a positive sentiment to it. So it's not. So it's basically, yeah. So when she takes off joy, right, it just becomes Kolkata, the city of it. It's a neutral title. But when she adds the word joy to it, it has a positive sentiment. Or she uses a negative word, then it will have a negative sentiment. Also, speaking on the length of the title, try to keep your title concise and not too long because
Yeah,
you
so
don't.
this is a negative word and it still works. It's just, wrapping up on that as well. Please go ahead.
Okay. That's all for negative and positive sentiments.
So,
You can go with your power word.
yeah, I'll explain the power word. So, that was pretty well said, the fact that it needs to have an emotion in it. So, for power, I think you need to have a certain word that really communicates, and basically motivates the person who searches up and sees it in the search result to click on the link and read through it. It should have the ability to convey that you need to read this. It needs to have that sense of attraction, and gravitation towards the article. So it needs to be something that is bold, something that has it's not really common. It's a word that really strikes out and compels people to read. So that's what a power word is. So like over here, sometimes your positive and negative words can also be your power word. So I'm just going to give an example of a power word and an example of a positive, negative, and a power word all in one. So if I am looking at a power word, I can try the exciting city of joy, and it ticks off. So basically, exciting is a word that just explains and creates the sense of exuberance required to read an article, compels the person to read it. So basically, I usually use power words as adjectives. That's how I go about it. Sarim might have a different way to go about it, but yeah, that's how we go about power words usually. Like we use it in the form of adjectives describing a certain noun in the title. So that's just a power word. Now I'm going to show you an example of a power word and a positive word, like both in one. So okay, I just hope this works. I think it's yeah. So I removed off joy just to remove have a neutral result. So when I removed joy, both of them were negative. They didn't they weren't ticked. But when I added beautiful, it met both criteria. So your power word can be a positive and a negative word, as well as a power word, or it can just be a power word. So I'm gonna try exciting. Let's see if it's both. It's both. So it really depends. It really depends on how you want to use the word and how your the database thinks it turns out to be. If you aren't sure of any words that you can think of that you can add to the article, then you can click on Power Word. There's a link there that you can use and go to the end of the article. And here's a whole list of words A to Z that you can go through and you'll select a word that's um, you know, it matches the content as well as helps you convey a power to your sense of articles. So I can try a word that I saw there. Okay, this just sounds very redundant. But yeah, that's the point. So I'll stick to my beautiful city of joy. So that helps me, maintain both criterias. And there you are, you're done with your article readability and you're done with your basic SEO except the URL. So which I'll be explaining now. So after you're done with this, I would suggest coming to the settings part. So once you come to the settings part, sometimes it might be block. If you're already clicking on a paragraph, so I would suggest moving to document because here's where you would be doing a bit more of the work. So I'll let Sarin explain what the publishing immediately is and what the categories are like. And I'll just explain, I'm going to tick off this pending review. And I ticked off this pending review because as an editor, you wouldn't be required to do this. But as an admin, as a staff of Teen Pop, I don't have the privileges to submit an article for preview. If I write an article, I just edit it and it's done. Maximum, Simon just goes over it and lets me know if there are any changes that needs to be done. The If you're an editor, if you're joining us, it'll be the same for you. If you write an article, it will be kept the way it is. It will just be used by Sarim to finish up the SEO and by me to add graphics, but your content remains the way and no changes would be made because we are assuming that if we're giving you the role of an editor, you have the rightful prowess required to edit and construct articles. So this option shouldn't show up for you if you're an editor, but if you're an author, I think it's a default for authors. So when you click publish, it goes as pending review. But if I click publish, even though it's on pending review, it would be published rather than being sent for pending review. So this is that. I'll let Sarim explain the how our calendar looks like and what are the slots like, how we choose slots, and how articles are usually published. So to do that, I'm going to open um, open up the sheet where we usually do the articles. Just a minute. Okay. Can you see this? Can you see the
Yep.
sheet, Sarim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the main sheet. If you're a volunteer, if you're a writer with us, you have access to this sheet. So you should know what I'm talking about. But I'll let Sarim explain through the editing process. So I'll just start with October so you can give them an idea, and then move into November so we can schedule this article as well.
Okay, so articles are scheduled based on days. So when I say days, I mean Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. There will be at least one interview article and then one author article. So on Wednesdays, right, the top slot is just for the interviews, and then the bottom slot is for the author articles. Every other day are author articles. The slots have a meaning to it. So the slots on top mean they on that day they'll be published first. So usually slot one usually gets published around 4 p.m. GMT, which is 12 p.m. Eastern time, and the second slot gets posted at
And
around
9:30 IST.
29:30 IST, and then second slot gets posted around 2100 GMT, and that's 5 p.m. IST. I'm not IST.
No, I think that's
ET.
2:30 a.m. IST. That's
Yeah,
2:30 a.m. IST. Yeah.
and it's 5 p.m. ET Eastern time. And
Mhm.
yeah, that's more or less for that's why you can see an empty slot on Wednesday. It's not for an
Yeah,
author. It's
there slots. I purposely emptied this before we started editing this so that I could just show what this process is like. But these ones have been, they are unfilled slots for interviews, which will be
yeah.
scheduled once they have been submitted. So as you can see, like you said, there are two slots each day except Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Where the top slots of the, like the first slots are for interviews and second slots are for articles. So as of now, October is completely, done. We don't have any October slots left except on 31st of October, which brings me to also enlighten you about a contest we'll be having soon enough. So just a disclaimer, just like letting you know. Um, we are going to be holding a contest where you can submit horror-based articles. 31st of October is Halloween Day, and we'll be publishing your article, fast track article, and fast track publishing of an article. And whoever wins the contest, obviously there are prizes involved, and the best article gets scheduled at 31st, and every other article will obviously be scheduled, but according to slots available in the next month, because as of now, October is completely full because of the fact that I've said this before, but I'll just repeat it. If you're a writer with us, you would know this. We don't post more than two articles a day because we like to give each author the right amount of time to be on the front cover of the Teen Pub's website, have their own Instagram post, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, and everything. All these social media platforms having unique posts for them, having unique slots, and being right on the cover, being on the front page of the Teen Pub magazine website. We just want to provide that equal opportunity to everyone. So that's why we don't post a lot or just keep posting throughout the day like a lot of other literary magazines. So it's two slots, two articles a day. Hence why some articles might be scheduled a month or more later. So going back to the topic, scheduling this article. So Sarim can guide us how we're going to be scheduling this.
So if you look at publish next to it, you see immediately in the blue icon. So click on it, and here you see a calendar. So I'm assuming this will be scheduled in November.
Yeah,
So
let me show you the sheet so you can just go through it.
yeah, so there's an empty spot on the 20th.
Yeah, first
So
one.
you can just what you do is on the left one you put the author name.
Okay. Oh, you want us to do that way? Okay.
Yeah, just do it. Let's just do it
I'll
now.
just put it your name first. I mean, since it's authored by
And
you.
then the title of the article. That's it. And then now that you know the date and the slot it's in,
Yeah,
you can
and as an editor, this is my personal request. Please don't color code the cells like the rest of them are. This is something I specifically use in order to know whether I've made graphics for a certain article or not. So please don't color code them because it helps me know whether I've made graphics for it or not, or in case it skips my mind. So this is just a way I do my work and how I color it after I'm done making the graphics. So please don't color it if you're an editor with us.
okay. So back to the publishing. So you can either change the date from here or you can Yeah.
You can move to the month and you can select
the arrows
date,
and
or you
select.
can just manually enter the date here and then select the month. I mean, the choice is yours, I guess. So this is November.
There are two alternatives, yeah. So the time is, of course, is going to be 04 00 p.m. You can't use the 24-hour clock here for some reason. Doesn't allow you to. So you would have to use the 12-hour clock. And then once you do that, you can just click anywhere on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, you can just click schedule to
You can just click
or you
schedule
just click outside anywhere rather. Yeah.
and
I
just
mean,
click schedule.
if it's a second slot article, it'll be 9. If it's a first
9.
slot article, it'll be 4. So it's a first slot article, thus it's being 4 for us.
It's going to be 4, yeah.
So now we're moving on to categories.
Do you want me to do it? Or?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so each article obviously falls under a different category. So after reading it, you should have a good idea of what category it goes under. So an article like this would be, you could say, op-ed.
Yeah, the default article type is activism. So if it's not activism, because this is what activism consists of, if you do not, as an editor, have a complete firm understanding of any of the genres and categories we host, please get in touch with me and Sarim so you can have an in-depth knowledge about it. But I believe when we, training you through it, you would have a much better understanding of knowing. And if not, we can always tell you, hi, can you please change this to this? So, yeah, so this is not an activism based article, so it goes off. So to me, I think it's more of literary because it's more of like, those, what should I say, descriptive essays. So yeah, for me, it's literary.
Fair enough.
So that's literary. But if you think it also fits something like, did you say op-ed?
Yeah, because
it's also kind
I
of
haven't
op-ed.
gone through it, but just looking through it, just looking at the title, I could say it's op-ed.
Yeah, it's kind of also op-ed. I mean, op-ed is such a wide variety.
It's a very broad spectrum.
It's a very broad spectrum. Yeah, I mean, these are just subtopics. Doesn't define for op-ed and only for op-ed. Your subtopics do not define op-ed. The subtopics do define the meaning of each of the other categories, but op-ed is really, really vast. And basically what op-ed means, it's opinionated essays or something based upon feelings, based upon it's like it's an uncategorized statement. Yeah. So that's why op-ed helps umbrellize a lot of things under the same roof. So yeah. And you can obviously select your primary term. So if you think op-ed is more of the thing, go for op-ed. If you think literary is more of the thing, go for literary.
That's it for the categories, I think.
Yeah, that's it for the categories. Tags, as an editor, you wouldn't need it. Featured image is something I do. Excerpts are not needed. Everything below this is not needed. So that's it. I mean, oh wait, I didn't even finish the thing. So once you're done with the, after you're done with the scheduling of the date, and after you're done, selecting your categories, schedule it. There's a button here to schedule. So schedule it. It asks you, are you ready to schedule? So you click on schedule and you schedule it. You can schedule this at any point throughout the article. You don't have to finish it, but I suggest doing it after you're done so that it saves all your changes at once instead of having to do it every single time. So you can click cross and close this panel. So as you can see, it was 65. Now it's gone to 70. Thanks to the fact that we scheduled it, brought the focus keyword in the URL. Now to see where the URL is, we come to this basic preview section that we were there before. Click on edit snippet. This is kind of a segment of your URL. Oftentimes, if your article titles are really, really big, you might need to remove adjectives, words, and words that can be positivity, but ensuring it doesn't, it doesn't remove the meaning of the article from it. For example, if I choose to remove the city off and just keep it as this, remove joy and keep a city off, that doesn't make sense, right? So you have to have city of joy. But if I remove beautiful, it still has its meaning. It was just used as a power word. Initially wasn't stated. So you can use it, you cannot use it. I mean, it's upon you, but it can't cross more than 75 characters, including the dashes in between. And permalinks cannot be scheduled without dashes. Every word should be followed by a dash, except the first and last word. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And like I said, you can just remove the words if they're unnecessary in your title. Is there anything on the editing front on WordPress as of now?
No, not really.
So going over the entire thing, first you go over the article for grammatical structural info. Oh no, there is. I'm so sorry, I forgot
Okay.
about this. So when you're writing article, when you're doing the article, this is part of editing an article. Between every two paragraphs, if you hover around it, you'll see plus signs. This is to add a block, and you need to have at least one heading in your article. This is both for writers and editors. Especially editors, you need to ensure your article edited that you're editing has a heading. So if you come between, okay, so for me, I think here I can talk about, okay, so this heading, I can name this heading as the city of joy. Then for this, okay, let me see where the block is. So like I said, if you press enter, it shows up automatically instead of having to hover around. So for me, I'll add a block here, add a heading. For me, this is, um, what can I name this? Okay. So this talks a lot about the industry, like the film industry, the academic industry, and a lot about that. So I would say the famous fraternity. And choose, captivating headings that you can. I'm not the perfect person when it comes to headings. Sarim does it much better than me. So if your headings are not captivating, don't worry, he'll still take care of that.
Excuse me.
But yeah, I'm not really good at headings, so yeah. And okay, you can add one here. So yeah, this basically means sweet, and it because it talks a lot about sweetness in the next few paragraphs. So it's a word typical to Calcutta or Kolkata that's used. So yeah, you need to have headings. It's at least one heading, and try breaking up your articles in headings. It's extremely crucial. And it's a much easier read for anybody who's reading it, a reader, editor, or anybody. So yeah. So one, editing the article, going over the process. First, you edit the article for any grammatical structure and punctuation or errors. You add headings. While reading the article, you note down your pros and cons and decide on your focus keyword. Then you come to the rank math. Click on the rank math, add your keyword. Follow the steps to do the basic SEO and the title readability. Like I said, additional content readability and number of words is not required of a primary editor. This would require you to also edit the snippet and a description. Copy the description, paste it here under the heading as a quote in italics. Might need you to edit the permalink by editing, removing, or adding words. Then you come to settings, click on document, and scheduling the article based upon the sheets, based upon what availabilities exist. And after that, you will be required to add categories, whatever, one or more, whatever you think is right. If you're selecting one or more, please select your primary term, and then you click on schedule. Wait for it to schedule as it shows up in the lower left corner, and voila, you're done editing your article.